Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Builder Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. We're back for part 78 today and we start on the home screen of the league rather than ourselves as a club. And that's because we might well have our first ever 3-horse title race here. You can have a look to see that TNS have won all of their first 6 games. We've won all of our first 6 bar the game against TNS. And Barry have won all of their first 7, bar the game against TNS. So if you're looking forward to seeing a bit more action and finding out how these sides get on, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. There's a link to the Twitch channel in the description below. And if you haven't already, you can catch up with all the other playlists in the eye above, as well as the podcast channel too. But today, we've got a big game outside of the Welsh Premier League. If we go back to the club's home now, we are facing our first Champions League game at home to Shakhtar Donetsk, a massive club, but not as big as Arsenal and PSG, who we play in the second and third games. So realistically, this is probably our best chance to get any point from any match. We might also show the Kef and Druids game if we've got time to get to it as well, because now it starts to be reserve side in the league, first team in the Champions League, as we work through in 2 or 3 different competitions. That gives TNS and Barry a chance to get on top, as none of them made the group stages, of course. But we've got a financial balance now which should set us for the future. What is a worry though is what's happening in the boardroom. The new owner's taken over. He's done a decent job, we won't lie to him there. But what he won't do is accept many of the board requests, and it's really holding us back a little bit. So I'm going to try again for the youth and training facilities, and having said that, it looks like the training ones have just been done like that. The youth facilities, not so much, so that's probably going to be rejected. Well, we've got the best junior coaching by the look, so we'll go for youth recruitment and see how that pans out. But so far, we've had a little bit of a holdback from him. He's fought back on most of our issues, and that's causing us a little bit of a delay. But it looks like he's finally agreed the training facilities. So let's go and get into the first game today via our schedule so you can see the recent results. Because we have had a few games off camera, and actually we've started to find form again. Some of the wins haven't been the most convincing. We've been very professional, and we've started to look solid at the back again. So you were with me for that wonderful turnaround against Lech Poznan as we won 3-0 on the road in the second leg. That put us in the Champions League, of course. Against Haverfordwest, the run continued. A 6-1 victory with our backup side. Richard Roberts, our former youth player, scored a goal against us. But goals for Pringle, who got a brace. A hat-trick for Elliot Andrew, who's been brilliant so far this year. And Dara Leahy, with his first for the club, I think, made it 6-1 on the day. A 1-0 win at Airbus, Joe Duffy got the goal for the first team there. A 1-0 win against Livingston, Joe Duffy with the penalty again. And then back-to-back wins in the Welsh Premier League. 2-0 against Newtown with Duffy and Dean. And 3-0 against Swansea Uni. A rotated side saw goals from Callum Maguire, Greg Pringle and Martin Sinclair off the bench. So lots to look forward to. We have had a few injury problems this year, which is a little bit of a concern, particularly with the amount of fronts we're trying to fight on. If we go and have a look at the medical centre, there's no massive injuries. We've had so many of these little ones, like Williams, like Glatzel. Archie Woods just had one as well. But they're all muscular injuries in the leg region, and they are leaving us 3 or 4 players short at every time. So it's actually worked out quite well that we weren't able to get rid of Banks, that we've got an extra midfielder, because it's given us a bit of strength in depth where we've needed it. However, today, the focus is solely on Bangor City v Shakhtar Donetsk, the 3rd place side in this group, the 3rd seeded side. But really, they've still got quality. If you have a look at their star player, who is Roman Chuichenko, he's worth 13.5 million. He's an official wonder kid. He would be 5-star ability in our side and he's very versatile. So they've got a couple of those young sort of Ukrainian players like that. The other one being Beresutsky. So he's ineligible apparently. What's that for? He's been involved in another match. I'm not sure that's accurate, but he's another official wonder kid in centre midfield. They've got a few players in their peak, a few like Joseph Procalo, who we recognise. Edson Alvarez, the Mexican, he's a good player as well. All worth 15 or so million. And then a little bit of experience as well. 32-year-old Anthony Martial, 32-year-old Thomas Lamar, 33-year-old Giovanni Simeone. There's real quality there. Jefferson Lerma's a good player. And none of them have really lost their physical attributes, bar Barrios, the 34-year-old Colombian. And they've got Odysseus in goal. Hero from our head coach save at Southampton. He looks like he's their backup keeper. If Odysseus is their sub-goalkeeper, then we've got a lot to worry about because he is very, very good. So we know what kind of test we're up against. It's going to be a very difficult one. but Shakhtar Donetsk presents our only opportunity to really try and get a point. So at home to them, we're going to throw the kitchen sink and try our best to get one. I've had to make some gambles selection-wise, so the two informed strikers, Greg Pringle and Elliot Andrew, miss out. Pringle's not really been as good as we'd hoped since he's come in. Has got a bit of quality though, so he'll get a go off the bench today, but his mentality's not quite there. He's a bit nervy in the big matches, and he's not quite in the same scoring form as some of the others. Joe Duffy, of course, the man who can't miss out. Long term, I'd like it to probably be Pringle and Duffy up front, but Max Dean, just when you write him off, like that Lech Poznan game, turns up to become the hero. We've gone for Cottrell over Maguire in attacking midfield. We've gone for our first choice back four, and we've gone for Cannell and Lewin in midfield, mainly because Archie Woods isn't fit and Williams is out injured, so the decisions we'd normally have to make aren't really there for us. Tom Jones is just coming back from injury, so I'm not going to put him on the bench this time, and that means the 11 and 18 is as follows. We've got George Wickens in goal, now a 4-star keeper, really improving, doing well off the pitch and starting to look like the top-class keeper we thought we'd signed. Riley at right back, Weaver at left back, McDermott and Badebo in the middle. We've got Lewis, Cannell, Brooks and Cottrell the midfield diamond, Dean and Duffy up front, and then a whole host of names on the bench. The two strikers who are scoring goals galore, Leahy and Hankin for a bit of defensive solidity, and then Woods out of the first choice midfield, Maguire a star from last year, and Patrick Malone, the youngster, has come in and done alright so far. So if we need him, I'm sure he'll be able to deliver. But we're going for the narrow diamond. We're going attacking against Shakhtar. We've got to try and get something out of this game, because it's our only chance to really get coefficient points this year. Because otherwise, it's going to be 4th place in the Champions League, and albeit a good year financially for us and reputation-wise, probably a bad one for the coefficient. So let's go and get into it and see if we can shock the odds. So you can see it's a mix of youth and experience. I missed Alan Halilovic is in there. Kovalenko's a quality player. But Odysseus in goal, we know he's a good barrier at his best. It's going to be very difficult for us to compete here. What we are going to do though is get into the first half. I will show you the Welsh transfer window between the two games, just to make sure that you're up to date with what TNS and Barry and the others did. But the focus has to be on Champions League football. It's still late summertime, so there's still sun in the sky as we start the game. But a big match at the racecourse at Wrexham, and a chance for us to really show how good we are. A 3-5-2 for Shakhtar, that's a little bit of an unusual one. We don't come up against that too often in Europe, but it's going to be a difficult test. They've had the first 2 shots of the game, they're dominating so far, and we might have to drop to balance just to hang on. A point could be a wonderful result. Well, to be fair, I don't think we could ask for much more from that half. We've completely stifled Shakhtar, there are no shots on target, we've seen no highlights whatsoever. We've had a couple ourselves towards the end of the half as we grew in confidence. But no highlights means we're going to get a point, and if we can do that, I'll be very happy. We managed it at home to Inter in the past in our first Champions League outing. And if we could do it here, it'll be just as impressive. 50 minutes gone, and it's looking good, but it's a Shakhtar throw with Jefferson Lerma. Weaver heads away. Now, can we counter? Cottrell's up. It's a 3-on-2. They've committed men forward, and now we've got a real chance to get in behind. It's into Joe Duffy. Joe Duffy scores. It is Bangor City 1, Shakhtar 0. And this has been a thoroughly impressive display. 50 minutes of solid defensive shape, restricting chances for our Ukrainian visitors. And then with 10 minutes gone in the second half, Joe Duffy pops up with yet another goal. And we're still on top though. It's a free kick in for Shakhtar, headed just in. Poor goalkeeping, caught in no man's land. And poor defending. An unmarked defender gets his first goal for Shakhtar Donetsk. And on the hour mark, our joy was short-lived. 1-1 here at the racecourse. Right, 20 minutes to go. We're going to make a couple of changes. So Max Dean has had a poor game up there again. He'll be replaced by Pringle, and Duffy will switch to the left-hand side. Pringle will be the advanced forward, which he prefers. Duffy will be the poacher. It makes no difference to him, and he's done well in that role on the left-hand side. Cannell's had an average game, so Archie Woods will come on for him rather than Malone. Just a bit more experience, bit more defensive bite. And we'll leave the last sub 5 or 10 more minutes. Just try and see things out. A point, still be a fantastic result. We're back again with Cottrell coming over halfway. Just over 10 minutes to go. He's got men to surge at. He's going alone here. I was about to take him off in truth, but he's nearly created something. It's Weaver. Back to Lewid. Into Woods. Out wide to Keegan Riley. There's 2 in the box. 3rd and 4th making their way in. But Archie Woods is the simple option. To Cottrell. Back to Lewid. If we could win this game, I would start to get very excited. Riley gets there, crosses in. Pringle scores! Oh, he's offside. We're going to VAR, but it's going to be ruled out. It looked it in truth, but a very good finish and a very good run. and that's not something we've always seen from him so far. Clear offside, no goal given, and it's back to all square. One apiece it remains, 10 minutes left here. I'm going to replace Cottrell with Maguire, give him a little chance to shine at the end. But in truth, a draw's a good result. It's disappointing the manner in which we conceded. The only shot on target against us, and it was a free header from a set piece. And it could be another one here, though McDermott heads the corner away. Barrios gets there first. Don't let us lose it like this. We're becoming almost famous for losing in the last minute of European games, as Odysseus picks it up at the back. He's got a chance to clear downfield, instead plays short. It's out to the right back Lerma, into Alvarez, to Halilovic in the middle. Keeping it well, switches the play. Thomas Lamar's taken on the fullback, finds Martial the sub, but Debo with a great tackle. Went down in the box, had to get it right, but he's not marked his man the second time. It's into Halilovic, it's blocking all over the place. Like pinball in there, and it's behind for a corner. If we defend this though, we're going to get a point, and I think add half a point to our coefficient. As Badebo heads it away, Bracalo chases. 15 seconds to go. It's been a wonderful Herculean effort from the boys. And Lerma's got it on the right again to Halilovic. To Lerma. Don't let him cross that ball. Gives it away though. Duffy nicks it. Now we don't want the whistle to go. But it does. It's 1-1 on the night. And you know what? It might well be the only point we get in this group. But it was thoroughly deserved and it was an excellent effort. We're competing with Shakhtar Donetsk. We've got to put that into perspective. Brilliant performance. A good result. And great for Welsh football. A draw in our first Champions League game of the season. We are back to face Kef and Druids after a very good result in Europe. TNS have also dropped their first points of the league season. They drew away at Bala, our rivals. Barrytown United won 5-0 though, so no such luck there. Still out of our hands at the moment though, for both sides. Because Barrytown United, remarkably, have got a far better goal difference than us. Plus 15 in 8 games. With a defeat as well, that's remarkable. As promised though, let's have a look at the transfer window to see what happened towards the end. So TNS bolstered their squad a little. They signed a youngster from Aberystwyth. They also signed another player from Lee Ramsey, a backup keeper from Bala, just improving the squad a little. Barrytown United signed Bradley Gibbons, who was a promising one because he'd been playing in England. So I know he came from Cardiff Met Uni before, but he's been playing for Barrow and for Swindon in League 2 regularly. So that's because our league reputation matches now. We're able to see players like this come to the nation. And Bradley Gibbons has started well for them. 3 goals in 4 games. It's made a big difference, you can't argue. Airbus UK have been busy signing the best players from second tier sides, particularly Colwyn Bay who went down. So you can see even from that left back there, a very solid player at this level. If we look elsewhere though, not a huge amount going on. Plenty on deadline day itself, but more into between the league rather than other players. Llandudno did get a couple of players that had been playing elsewhere, but they weren't of real high quality, and we loaned one out to our feeder club in Afan Lido. Ruben Colwell went to Bala as well. He was on loan at Barry before, I think. No, he was a permanent player, so he left Barry and now he's gone to Bala. Good footballer though, good across the attacking lines, and again, 2 goals in 3 games. Not a bad start for him. So things looking promising transfer-wise. The sides are still improving, the sides are still getting better. And you can see they're fighting at the top. There's 3 of them scrapping it out. But for us, we've just got to remain consistent. Now, we've had 4 days since the last game, and we've got 3 days until the League Cup tie. But that's against an Airbus side who are 4th and flying. So we're going to go for the full rotated 11. And I'll take you through it in a second once we've selected. So here we go then. A mix of youngsters, a mix of players returning and trying to get up to speed. And a mix of players who have been injured as well. So we've got Ratcliffe in goal, Jack Hankin back in at right back, Leahy over on the left hand side, Hughes and Rogers in the middle. Interestingly, Hughes has been the best trainer at the club for a few weeks now, and it's just starting to improve again. We've got Archie Woods back in the holding role, Malone and Tom Jones in centre midfield. Callum Maguire's in the number 10 role with Andrew and Pringle up front. And it just sort of works with the injuries we've got. Daniel Williams is out, Glatzel is out. They would both be playing today. So it gives us a bit more strength in depth. We've got the 3 youngsters on the bench to come on if need be. Holding, Banks and Sinclair if we're comfortable. And if not, we've got a few game savers. So Keegan Riley in defence, Lewin and Cottrell in midfield, and Max Dean as the sub-striker. So plenty of players to look forward to seeing in this game. We're looking forward to seeing some of them get back up to speed and find their best form again. But it's a good lineup. It should be winning these matches. Now let's go and see if it can. The full 11 changes from the Shakhtar Donetsk game. We're still very, very strong though. No former players in that Kef and Druids side. Kane Lewis has just gone on loan from Bala, literally the last week or so. but it's still a decent team. And for those to be the second weakest side in the league, they've got some of the players that would have previously been playing in top half sides. So we've got to be pleased. We're going to tell the lads to go out there and do it. Brian Hughes is motivated. The rest not really responded. And we'll swap the strikers again because Pringle prefers being the advance forward. Andrew couldn't care less and has scored goals galore as a poacher. So let's go and get into it. First half between Kef and Druids and Bangor City. Who's going to come out on top? Well, 10 minutes gone. Probably not the start we were hoping for. The only shot has been for Kef and Druids. There's not really been a chance for us. Though we're coming back with the first highlight there. Although we lose possession. And it's Reese who picks it up on the right hand side. Back to Lewis. You'd imagine they'll play direct, which they have there. And Ratcliffe, I thought he was briefly going to mix up with Hughes. They was getting a bit close together. But the shout came and Ratcliffe claims. Goes long downfield. Pringle and Andrew chase. Andrew's on the end. That man is in stunning form this season. A great goal kick. A brilliant direct ball. And Andrew's on the end of it to poach as always. Another goal for him. A 7th for the season. And a comfortable lead for Bangor City already. As Jack Hankin throws in from the right to Malone. Another one of those youngsters just getting up to speed. Woods goes to Rogers who chips it long. And he's headed away as far as Hankin on the right wing. He delivers early. Pringle's there. Heads just over the bar. Not quite got his happiness, not quite got his form and fitness yet. But there's clearly talent there. He's having his moments. We could just do with a goal or two as he lays it back there. It's undersold for Woods and now Rees can bring it away again. The plan with Woods is probably just to give him an hour or so today. As Evans has got him behind here. Might have been offside. It looked a bit off, but didn't get given. It's a corner kick. Good block and a last-ditch challenge from the defender. As McMinamy scored for Aberystwyth, back in form again against Carmarthen, as Malone heads the corner away. And I think we've seen that out, as Pringle gets there first. Can we counter? Surging down the left, there's not many in this league that will keep up with him. Lays it to Tom Jones, who has done just that. Playing a bit deeper today, goes back to Leahy, into Woods. Chance to shoot from the edge. And it's straight at hard in the keeper. A little bit easy in the end, but a lovely flowing counter-attack and good football again. And we're back with 26 on the clock as Lewis gets the ball from the midfielder and they're playing quite well, Kef and Druids. You can see their intent going direct and it's only got to work 1 or 2 times, though we still look very menacing going forward as Pringle plays a 1-2 Leahy. Into Maguire, left completely unmarked. Callum Maguire floats into the space and uses his technique to finish. A wonderful goal, back with a bang from Blackburn Rovers and it's 2-0 Bangor City, 27 on the clock. That should be game wrapped up and 3 more of the youngsters that will get a chance off the bench. As Andrew picks it up again, can we make it 3? Jones finds Andrew for the second time, to Leahy. 3 running off him, tries to shoot. Bit of a Hollywood effort there and it's blocked by the first man. Down the line to Kiriakou. Kef and Druids will fancy their chances here. There's 3 in the middle, one of them's Emberton. And his shot's just over the bar. It was a decent opportunity, just lashed at it for some reason. But still no shot on target for them, as they've got a goal kick with Harding, long down the wing. Leahy brings it down, he's got time on the ball, chips down the line, Pringle will chase it, beats the keeper who's in no man's land, and rattles the post with a greedy effort. Probably should have laid it across. But it's a corner kick, and Maguire will take it. And we're 10 to the break, we wouldn't mind a third to wrap this up. Maguire delivers to the back post, Andrews' header brilliantly saved. Acrobatics from Harding in goal. He does really well there, the keeper, to be fair. It's another Maguire corner though. Got a goal already. Can he add an assist? He can't. It's over here and Carter heads clear. But 2-0 will very much take it. And we're back with yet another throw-in, this time on the left-hand side. Leahy's one's under hit. It's cleared away as far as Evans. He's beaten Rogers here. He might be in. Rogers is trying to get back at him. And he gets there, but he's brought him down. It's another one of those highlights that looks like they've won the ball, but it's been given as a pen. And now right-footed, up will step the Kef and Druids player to make it 2-1 on the stroke of half-time. Emberton blazed his shot over the bar, but his penalty is perfect. Slides it down the middle, the keeper dives out the way. And maybe it's not going to be so easy. 2-1 as we head to half-time. Though we've got a corner kick 1 minute into stoppage time. We'd love to restore the 2-goal lead, but nobody's there. Evans heads clear as far as Leahy. 30 yards out, it's a great effort. Much better than his first one, and his tip wide of the post. Wonderful strike from the left back, and Maguire's got another corner, headed away by Allen at the front post, as far as Malone, and nothing doing. It's half time, it's 2-1, and really, we've put ourselves in a bit of a predicament here. We should have been comfortable at 2-0, but one rash moment defensively, and we're back in trouble again. So we're going to get into the dressing room, tell the lads to do even better, and you can see Greg Pringle nervous again, the mentality not quite there. Let's get back into it for the second half, try and extend that lead again. But we're back 3 minutes into the second half and Pringle is surging forward from a deep position. Gives it back to Rogers, the centre half. Had a good game but then gave away that silly penalty. It's up to Andrew, down to Maguire and Tom Jones on a half volley just wide. Lovely strike, hit it beautifully but didn't quite get the direction right. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Kef and Druids' expected goals is actually better because it was a penalty. We're going to demand a bit more because we've not had much out of these lads. And we're going to make some changes after this throw-in, which will be taken by Dara Leahy. Given away again to Reese. Woods will recycle it. He's one of the men that has to come off. Just rebuilding his fitness. Hughes chips forward. Maguire's got there. That has to be a pen. Carter's brought him down as the last man. I'm not sure he was going for the ball there, but the ref's given him the benefit of the doubt. Yellow card given, and up steps Dara Leahy to take it. Best penalty taker on the pitch, and we've missed another one. We've had 4 penalties this season, and I think only scored 1. Not the best performance so far. And it's squeaky bum time. Let's get the subs on. So, I've switched the striker roles back, and that's because Banks is going to come on for Pringle, who's not had a great game in truth. Archie Woods needs a rest, so he's going to be replaced by Sinclair. Malone will go into the holding role, and Jones will switch to the right. And then Peter Holding will come on for... I think it's going to be Rogers, because he's given away the penalty. Or do we go for Hughes? He's trained well, even Hankin at right back. I mean, it could be any of them. Let's go for Leahy, actually. He missed the penalty and he's annoyed us. So Rogers will go to left back, Holding into centre half. We've just got to hold on. We've been the dominant side throughout. We just need to take one more of these chances and the game will be wrapped up in no time. And we've got a corner kick with Maguire. 13 left on the clock. In towards Andrew, who's lost out in the air. And Williams can bring it clear. We might be in a spot of bother. The counter-attack down the left for the host. Gets towards the byline. We're closing down, but not quick enough. It's into the back post. Reese wins the header. It's 2-2. Arrogance might be costing us here. We're going to berate the lads. We're going to go attacking. They've scored from both of their shots on target. And now we're in trouble again. Kef and Druids are second bottom. I don't mind losing the odd game to TNS, but not dropping points here. As White clears it downfield to Williams. He picks it up on the left to Emberton. He created that goal, Williams, with a brilliant counter, and he's headed away by Hughes to Sinclair, up towards Banks, on the transfer list, but he delivers that. Elliot Andrew fires in. We go back to positive, and that's the quality we've got. Banks is 5th, 6th choice striker at the club, and comes off the bench and does that. Brilliant assist, Andrew with the goal again. And we've got out of jail here, because this has not been a good performance. We don't deserve the win, but we're going to get it. 3-2 it finishes, a lifeline right towards the end. And a poor display, a missed penalty, a couple of missed chances. And in truth, we got let off the hook there. A 3-2 victory though, and it keeps us on course in the title race. Well, there we go. The Welsh title race is going to be good this year. We are 1 point behind TNS with the same games played. We are 3 points behind Barry with 1 less game played, but a worse goal difference as well. So as it stands, it's not in our hands unless we beat the other sides. We've got Hearts reserves in the SPFL Trust Trophy, Airbus UK in the league in midweek, and the Champions League is what we're going to be focusing on pre-Christmas because we've got massive games coming up. So we're going to get through the rest of this month, including the Arsenal away game, including the SPFL Trust Trophy game, and then we will be back because look at those 3 games we've got in a row. Barrytown United at home, PSG at home, and TNS at home. 7 days, 3 games. And how do you choose which is most important? We have to play the best team in the Champions League, but could that ruin our title race? We're yet to find out. So we will come back for one of the league games plus PSG at home. It will depend on which one's doing better in the title race and who look like our closest contenders. But if you did enjoy this episode, that brilliant performance at Shakhtar, and then that very narrow lucky escape at Kef and Druids, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know if you think we can get any more points from the Champions League, or is that scraped point against Shakhtar the best we can hope for? We'll obviously find out next time, so if you want to stay up to date and find out if we can, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. There's links to all the playlists and the podcast channel in the eye above, and there's a link to the Twitch channel in the description below. Thank you for everyone that's gone over so far. If you haven't already, please do go and follow if you can. And I'll see you next time for another big game at Bangor City. The title race is going to be good in Wales for once, and PSG are going to be stern opposition in Europe. I'll see you next time to find out how we do.